So today we are going to talk about the psychological view of self. So, psychology of self focuses on the representation of an individual based on his or her experiences. Beyond our physical attributes lies on the psychological identity. So here we are going to answer the questions of who am I or what am I beyond my looks, are thoughts of many that continuously search for a deeper sense of self. First topic as self as cognitive construction. First will be the material self, consists of things that belong to us or that we belong to. Things like family, clothes or body, and money are some of what make up our material selves. Next will be the social self. Our social selves who we are in a given social situations. For James, people change how they act depending on the social situation that they are in. James believed that people had as many social selves as they had social situations they participated in. Next will be the spiritual self, is who we are at our core. The spiritual self is more concrete or permanent than the other two selves. The spiritual self is our subjective and most intimate self, a spectrum of an individual's spiritual self. Include things like his or her personality, core values, and conscience that do not typically change throughout a lifetime. So next topic will the global versus differentiated models. Under this is the global self-esteem, aka trait self-esteem, is a personality variable that represents the way people generally feel about themselves. It is relatively enduring across time and situations. Second is a state self-esteem, aka feelings of self-worth, refers to the temporary feelings or momentary emotional reactions to positive and negative events where we feel good or bad about ourselves during these situations or experiences. Third will be the domain-specific self-esteem, aka self-evaluation, is focused on how people evaluate their various abilities and attributes. This is making distinctions or differentiations on how good or bad people are in a specific physical attributes, abilities, and personal characteristics. The third topic will be the real and ideal self-concepts. According to Karen Horney, with her feminine psychology, established that a person has a ideal or actual self and the real self. She believed that everyone experiences basic anxiety through which we experience conflict and strive to cope and employ tension reduction approaches. But according to Carl Rogers, with his person-centered theory, established a conceptions of self involving the real self, aka self-concept, and ideal self. The real self includes all those aspects of one's being and one's experience that are perceived in a awareness. Next will be the multiple selves and unified selves. Multiple selves, according to K. Jurgen, are the capacities we carry within us from multiple relationships. These are not discovered but created in our relationships with other people. Next will be the unified selves. As strongly pointed out, in traditional psychology emphasizes that well-being comes when our personality dynamics are congruent, cohesive, and consistent. Next is true self. True self has a sense of integrity, of connected wholeness that harks to the early stage. False self is used when the person has to comply with external rules, such as being polite or otherwise following social codes. The false self constantly seeks to anticipate demands of others in order to maintain the relationship. The healthy false self is functional, can be compliant but without the feeling that it has betrayed its true self. The unhealthy false self fits in but through a feeling of forced compliance rather than loving adaptation. False selves, as investigated by Heinz Kohut, can lead towards narcissistic personality, which identifies with external factors at the cost of one's own autonomous creativity. Next on the list is the self as proactive and agentic. Social cognitive theory takes an agentic view of personality, meaning that humans have the capacity to exercise control over their own lives. People are self-regulating, proactive, reflective, and self-organizing, that they have the power to influence their own actions to produce desired consequences. People consciously act on their environment in a manner that permits growth toward psychological health. An adequate theory of personality, according to G. Alport, must allow for proactive behavior. So last but not the least is the self-efficacy. Self-efficacy lies in the center of Bandura's social cognitive theory. It is the measure of one's ability to complete goals. People with high self-efficacy often are eager to accept challenges because they believe that they can overcome them, while people with low self-efficacy may avoid challenges or believe experiences are more challenging than they actually are. So there you go, and those are the topics of the psychological view of self. Thank you for listening and have a nice day ahead.